So what does it mean to compete in the 90th percentile on Airbnb, and why is it so important? In short, competing in the 90th percentile on Airbnb means that you are competing in the top tier performers, the highest level in whatever market you're in. Why is this so important? Well, a few reasons. One, it means that you are pulling the maximum amount out of your property that you possibly can, which as a homeowner and as an Airbnb owner, why would you go through the entire process of starting an Airbnb if you are not pulling out as much money as you can? Because it is a large upfront investment. But also, it's a hedge against any sort of a recession or a decrease in overall demand in your market. So as markets become oversaturated, it means that regardless, you have the margin to allow the market to crunch as it will. For example, in 2018 and 2019, Gatlinburg and Joshua Tree were two markets that everyone started flooding to because the margins there were insane. The profitability there was out of this world, and so everyone started flooding these areas because of those reasons. Now, in 2022, people are still flooding that area, and with all that flooding means that the supply is really high and the demand has kind of evened out. So the people who were competing in the 90th percentile have the room in their margin to lower prices to still compete with all the other people in that area. But if you were in the 25th percentile, you did not have that luxury or that margin, so now you're not seeing any profit. These percentiles are also how AirDNA starts classifying different properties in different markets. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at what this looks like on AirDNA. If we get on AirDNA, let's type in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, since that seems to be an extremely popular area that people are very interested in. On AirDNA, here is Gatlinburg. You can see on the map how saturated it is and where it's saturated, but that's not what we're looking at today. Today, if you go to occupancy, you can see across the top the 25th, 50th, 75th, and 90th percentile. And look at that 90th percentile line. It stays at almost 100% occupied no matter what. Same thing here when you're looking at revenue. If you check 25th, 50th, 75th, and 90th percentile, you can see how much more the 90th percentile is making versus the 25th. They have the same size property, they likely have similar cost on the property, but because of what the 90th percentile has put into their property, they are making exceptionally more than the 25th percentile. In the high season, they're making over 16 grand in revenue per month. Same thing with Joshua Tree. Look at the difference between the 25th and the 90th percentile. That is a huge jump in overall occupancy. And again, look at how that 90th percentile is sitting at 100% occupancy nearly all months of the year versus the 25th that's going back and forth, up and down. Now, when you look on the rentalizer, you can type in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. You can select the size house that you're looking at. So for the sake of this video, let's look at 5-bed, 4-bath houses that hold 12 guests. The annual revenue looks really good, but when you scroll down, you can take a peek at what your neighbors in the area are making. So you've got one person making 148, one person making 58, one person making 155, 137, 65, 68, and 33. Those are all over the board. And if you want to compete in the 90th percentile, what I suggest you do is you look at some of the top performers in your area, you click on them. This is what you get when you pay for the AirDNA information from your area, and you can stalk your neighbors. This person is in the 90th percentile. They are making or pulling the max out. So you can look at their amenities, you can scroll through, and you can look at exactly what they're offering in their Airbnb property. So you know what at a minimum you have to include in your property to compete with this person and pull out just as much revenue out of your property as they are theirs. Same thing with the photos. Look at this. Professionally photographed. Great outdoor amenities, seating for everyone, hot tubs, dining for everyone, fireplaces in the bedroom, soaker tubs, massage chairs. Just gorgeous amenities. They did not plan on messing around when they invested in this Airbnb. So for you, when you're getting into a market, this is a really great way to assess what you need to put into your property to make sure that you can compete. This is also a big reason why I preach targeting mid-tier markets as you're a brand new host. A lot of the mid-tier markets that are not Gatlinburg, that are not Joshua Tree, that maybe are smaller, more intimate travel cultures that are less known, do not require the same amount of level of competition to make sure that you are in that 90th percentile. Not all markets are going to require you to have a movie theater and a hot tub and a massage chair, which means that your upfront investment becomes much lower with you still competing in that 90th percentile. Also, competing in the 90th percentile absolutely makes your business more sustainable. So regardless what happens in the market, regardless if we go through another COVID or it becomes oversaturated or a huge recession hits, you have the most room to decrease in your margin to still turn a profit. You want that. That is how you run a good, sustainable business. If you found value in this video, please like and subscribe, comment below, tell me what you learned, and I'll see you next time.